myself Mrs. Sharma, and I am here to take a class on accounts of not-for-profit concerns. This is the second chapter of standard 12th class textbook, and we'll see what does it means not-for-profit concerns. See, in today's world we see there are many ways of running business. The business is run in sole tradership, that is one person running the show. Even if he is managing a shop, a showroom or a business, he is after a profit motive. He wants profit or money at the end of the day. If we talk about partnership, they too run for a profit motive. Finally, if we talk about the company, even they have the profit motive, or they also run after the profits. So at the end of the day, if a person is running hard or working hard from morning to evening, he would like to have something in his pocket. So those are known as the profit concerns, that is the profit making institutions. But we will deal with not profit concerns, means there are certain institutions around us which are running or which are working for a motive, but that motive is not a profit motive. That may be providing services to the gentry that they are serving for. So there are certain charitable institutions, there are certain clubs, associations, there are certain hospitals, medicals, and there are certain other institutions, maybe religious institutions, which are providing these type of services, and they are not for profit concerns. Those organizations don't run for a profit motive. They are running only to provide services to the general public or the public in target, right? So for that there are many accounts that even they are expected to maintain. Firstly, they prepare the receipt and payment account. Receipt and payment account, there are certain questions in your textbooks which I'll be solving further. Receipts and payments account, they have already given in the question. What we have to do is prepare income and expenditure account and then the balance sheet. Even the not-for-profit concerns also are expected to maintain accounts, because they have to show, even if they are not earning profit, whatever money they are getting, how they are spending or utilizing that money or those funds. So receipt and payment account is a kind of an account. It's a real account which maintains all what the concern is earning. See, it can be of the past year, it can be for the year that is to come. So whatever you are earning today, it may be of any year, that is made in, or that is recorded in receipt and payment account. If we talk about the income and expenditure account, it is a nominal account and it maintains or it records only those items which are meant to for that particular year. See, suppose we are doing the first question. We are doing the first question of our textbooks, and it says like it is of Vijay Club. There is a club named Vijay, and we are making the income and expenditure account of that particular club. So we are recording only those transactions which are of that particular year. That means of the year 2008-9. Right, because in the books they have given it closes its account on 31st March 2009. So we are maintaining the accounts of from 1st April 2008 to 31st March 2009. So whatever transactions are related to this particular period or this particular financial year, we will be recording only those transactions. So let's move on to numerical number 1. Right, it says receipt and payment account for the year ending 31st March 2009 is given to you in your question book, and there are certain adjustments which are given to you after the question. Right, page 142. Page 142 the question is given, and page 143 you can see the adjustment. Very easy thing that you can do the question is, whatever adjustments are given to you, you just see where the adjustment are. Suppose the first adjustment is outstanding salary is 1000. So you see the salary point in your receipt and payment book, right? So in that you just put a star or you just put a tick mark. So you know that in these items you have your adjustment. Whatever adjustment you have, you write it on this side and final figure will be written on this side. Whatever adjustment you have, write in this column and final figure will be written in this column. This side you write all the incomes, that is particulars, amount, and this side you will write all the expenditure, rough amount and the final amount. So let's start on with the question. You say first we will deal with the receipt side, right? So receipt side means the income side for our income and expenditure account. So first of all, you please write in the books of Vijay Club Limited or in the books of Vijay Club for the year ending 31st March 2009. This you have to write over the question, right? So we will deal with the receipt side first. Answer, it will be income side. So see, outstanding salaries is 1000, then they have given the legacies, then they have given the subscription. See, first it is given balance brought down. You don't have to do anything with the balance brought down. Next, see, they have given the subscriptions also, right? So what is the subscription they have given to you for the year 2008 and 9? 19,200 is the subscription received. Whatever is in the receipt and payment account is the amount that we have received, right? No outstanding, no prepaids, nothing will come. Everything will be coming all in the way of cash if it is coming. So by subscription received, how much they have received this year? 19,200 they have received this year. Now see, there is an adjustment. Point number 3, it says the club has 200 members, each paying a fees of ₹100. See, the club has 200 members, right? And they are paying 100 rupees. So how much it becomes? 200 into 100 becomes 20,000. Subscription should come 20,000. But how much it is coming? It is coming only of rupees, what it is coming for? It's coming only for rupees 19,200. There are how many members? 220 members. How much rupees? 100 rupees. So it should be 22,000. But how much it is coming? 19,200. So how much is still outstanding? Outstanding subscription will be how much? 2,800. 2,800, and total will be 22,000. So 22,000 how you got? It is 220 members total. They are paying how much? 100 rupees. So it should be 22,000, but how much is coming? 19,200. So how much is outstanding? 2,800. This is the dealing of subscription. Next point that is the hall rent. Hall rent, is there any adjustment? No. How much is the hall rent? Just write by hall rent. How much is the hall rent given to you? 1250. Don't write anything here. Write directly here if there is no adjustment. 1250, right? What is the next thing they have given to you? Admission fees. How much admission fees they have given to you? 3,000. Don't write it here. Write it directly here. 3,000. Right? Okay. What next thing they have given to you? Legacies. See, they have given legacies. And they have given an adjustment also in the legacies. See in the question, legacies they have given that they have to be capitalized. No amount is given, so full legacies will be capitalized. How much is the legacies given in the question? 8,000. Nothing means all. So legacies, whatever is capitalized will be subtracted. Capitalized will be subtracted. How much is capitalized? If nothing is given, the whole will be capitalized. So 8,000 minus 8,000, 0. Put a dash here, right? What next thing will be done? What next thing is given to you, remaining with you? Admission fees we have done. Interest on fixed deposit. By interest on fixed deposit. How much interest on fixed deposit they have given? 5,000. 5,000 comes here. See, so you have subscription, hall rent, admission fees, legacy and interest on FD. We have completed the income side. Now we will come on the expenditure side, right? Expenditure side, how much they have given to you as? They have given telephone charges 440. 2 telephone charges, how much? 440. If there is adjustment, right here. No adjustment, final figure will be coming here, right? What other thing they have given to you? Salaries. 2 salaries. How much salaries they have given to you? Salary is given to you in the question as 5500. Right? And how much outstanding salary they say? It is 1500. Plus outstanding salary is how much? 1500. 5500 and 1500 total will give you how much? 7000. Right? What next thing they have given to you? Postage and postage stamps. 2 postage stamps. How much postage stamps they have given to you? 590. Right? 590. Then their telephone insurance they have given to you. 2 insurance. How much is the insurance that's given to you? 1200. Right? They have given the prepaid insurance also in the question, 400. So whatever is prepaid subtracted, prepaid is subtracted. How much? 400 is subtracted. What is the final figure? 800. Right? Then conveyance they have given 700. To conveyance, how much? 700 they have given to you. They have also given you the expenses, that is meeting expenses. 2 meeting expenses. Is there any adjustment in the meeting expenses? No. How much? 1200 will be coming directly. They have also given sundry expenses. 2 sundry expenses. How much they have given sundry expenses? 270. No adjustment that's being given to you. Right? So see now. You have 440. Then 7000, 590, 800, 700, 1200 and 270. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 items. 7 items, right? Now what you do, you add up this side, that is 22,000 plus 1250 plus 3,000 plus 5,000, right? So how much you will get? You will have total of 20,250. Total you are having 20,250, right? Add this side also, 440 plus 7,000 plus 590, 800, 700, 1200 and 270. Add this, subtract from this column. How much is the difference coming out to be? The difference is basically, see what you have is the total you are getting out to be 31,250. 31,250 is the total of this column. 31,250 is the total of this column. That is 22,000 plus 1,250 plus 3,000 plus 5,000. It is 31,250, right? 440, 7,000, 590, 800, 700, 1200 and 270. Add this and subtract from 31,250. How much you will get? 20,250. So the difference will be coming here, which will be known as surplus. Surplus, that is 20,250. 31,250. 20,250. That is excess of income over expenditure. Income is more, expenditure is less. That is why we are getting the balance on the expenditure side. So this is how you are going to solve the problem. That is, first you mark all the adjustments that are given to you in your receipt and column question only. Put a small tick or put a mark so you know that this item has an adjustment. So all the adjustment items will come here, add, subtract, whatever, and the final figure will be written in this column. Add this final column, that is you are getting 31,250, subtract from the numbers of this, then whatever is the balance will this side, if the balance is coming, that is excess of income over expenditure, is known as surplus, and if the balance is coming on this side, then it is known as deficit. By deficit, that is excess of expenditure over income. So it is known as deficit if it is coming on this side. It is known as surplus if it is coming on the expenditure side, right? So this is question number 1. We move on to the next question, that is question number 2 of your textbooks, page 143. Next question, question number 2, it's given on page 143. See the adjustment that is given on page 144. Just see what are the adjustments and put a tick mark on the question, that is receipts and payment side given in the question to you in your textbooks. After doing that, we will read the question and see what they have asked us to make. They have also given the balance sheet of that particular year, that is the previous year, and they have asked us to make the accounts for 9-10, and they have given the opening balance sheet also. So what we have to make is, we have to make income and expenditure account, and we also have to prepare the balance sheet. So two things we have to do: expenditure, income and expenditure account, and balance sheet. So first we will make the income and expenditure account. With the help of income and expenditure account, we will move and we will make the balance sheet. See what they have given. Payment side, they have given salaries 28,000, and in the adjustment they have given outstanding 2,000. Right? So you write up with the salaries. 2 salaries. How much they have given the salaries to be? 28,000. Right? Plus outstanding salaries. How much they are given in the adjustment? 2,000. So add up this 2,000. So this will be 30,000. 28,000 plus 2,000 will give you how much? 30,000. Next they have given you the rent of restaurant expenses, newspaper, and see we will do. They have given the rent of 3,300. To rent how much? 3,300. Okay. What next thing they have given to you? Printing and stationery 7,500. To printing and stationery how much? 7,500. Right? What next thing they have given to you? They have given you newspaper and periodicals. To newspaper and periodicals. How much they have given newspaper and periodicals? They have given you newspaper and periodicals for 2,000. Okay. Then they have given you insurance. How much insurance they have given to you? 1,700. And see, there is an adjustment. So insurance how much? 1,700. And they have given prepaid insurance also. Minus prepaid insurance. How much they have given prepaid? They have given prepaid insurance 500. So subtract 1,700, 500 from 1,700. How much you get? 1,200. Okay. Then what next thing they have given to you as they have given you meeting expenses. To meeting expenses. How much are the meeting expenses? 6,300. 6,300 are the meeting expenses. Conveyance 6,000. To conveyance how much they have given? 6,000. Then they have given the depreciation on furniture and equipments. See, they have given the depreciation on furniture and equipments, they say, and you have to have the depreciations basically written. How much? Furniture 1,200, equipment 2,700. To depreciation how much? Furniture is how much? And equipment is how much? You see in the question. Furniture is 1,200, right? And equipment is 2,700. Right? Total is how much? 3,900. Right? Next is restaurant expenses. See what they have given, treated as restaurant expenses. They have given restaurant expenses. They have given opening stock. They have given expenses of that particular year, and they have given closing stock. So how you do it? To restaurant, right? You have opening stock. Then you have restaurant expenses added to them, right? Then you have the closing stock subtracted. This is how you do it. So restaurant, you have the opening stock written. How much is the opening stock for the restaurant? 5,500, right? Then what are the expenses incurred? 15,000, right? So then how much will be that? 20,500. 5,500 plus 15,000, 20,500. Then you have to subtract closing stock from it. 20,500 minus 7,500 will give you how much? 13,000. 13,000 will be your total, that is opening stock of restaurant, then restaurant expenses will be added to it, and then you will subtract the closing stock of it. So this will be your expenditure side completed by now. Then we move on to the receipt and payment side, receipt side. Receipt side, that is, first you will see the subscription. First of all, write the subscriptions. By subscription, how much is the subscription given to you for this year? Subscription given to you for this year is 53,000, right? Then they have given subscription received for the previous year, right? So subscription received for previous year. See, previous year will not be recorded. We are making for this particular year. We are making for what? We are making for 9 and 10. So you don't need for previous years whatever is given to you. That is 8 and 9. So whatever is given to you for the previous year will not be recorded. So you subtract that. How much is given to you for the previous year? 3,000. Just subtract for that. And you have outstanding also. Outstanding for the current year, that is 9 and 10. So how much is the outstanding? 4,000. 4,000. So 53,000 minus 3,000 is 50,000, plus 4,000 is how much? 54,000. 54,000 is the subscription that is given to you, right? Next is you have the restaurant collections they have given to you, or we will do whatever the adjustments are first, right? By collection from the cinema hall, cinema show, that is basically, right? By collections from cinema show. How much is the collection from the cinema show that's given? 27,000, right? There is an adjustment also. Expenses. Expenses also have incurred of this collection. So you expenses of cinema show I'm writing, right? These expenses. How much is the expenses? 11,000, right? So this will be 16,000, right? 16,000. Then you have what? You have the restaurant collection. By restaurant collection. This was for the cinema show. This is restaurant collection. There is no adjustment. So you write the final figure 21,000 in the amount column, the main amount column. Then you have the sale from the sale of scrap. By sale of scrap. So all the receipt side will be coming on the income side. There is no adjustment, so directly by sale of scrap, how much? 2,200, right? 2,200 is the sale of scrap. Total of the columns 54,000 and 16,000 will give you 70,000, and 70,000 and 21,000 plus 21, that will give you 93,200. This will give you 93,200, right? Then you subtract this 93,000 from this, that is 30,000 plus 3,300 plus 7,500 plus 2,000 plus 1,200 plus 6,300 plus 6,000 minus 3,900 minus 13,000. Whatever you get here, subtract from 93,200. You will get again a surplus, right? So you will get a surplus, right? Surplus of how much? 20,000. Surplus of 20,000. So just write it 93,200. So you got 73,200 as the total of this column: 30, 33, 75, 20, 12, 63, 60, 39 and 30,000. You get 73,200, you subtract from this column, so you get a surplus, that is excess of income over the expenditure. That is surplus. See, they have asked you to make balance sheet also. So we have just made income and expenditure account. Next step is balance sheet. Don't forget to make the balance sheet. So second question, half the question is done. Next step is making the balance sheet. Let's make the balance sheet. Second question, continuation part we are doing. We have made the income and expenditure account. Now we will prepare the balance sheet. This is the second question only, make sure, right? So it is the liability side and the asset side that is given to you. Here we will do all the adjustments again, and this is the final figure we will write here. First we will have the capital fund here. See, when you used to prepare the balance sheet for the year, for the other people, that is the profit concerns or the partnership or whatever, you had the capital here. Here it is known as capital fund. Now what is the difference? From where you will get this capital fund? There are two ways of getting the capital fund. Either you calculate it, we will calculate it if you are not given. But in this question they have given, see in the question, just above the receipt and payment account, you have been given an opening balance sheet. In that opening balance sheet, left side they have given the capital fund, the calculated capital fund, and that amounts to be 94,400. 94,400 they have given the capital fund to you, right? Now what you will do is you will add the surplus to it. You will add the surplus to it, that will be 20,000. 94,400 plus 20,000, that is you will add, you will get 1,14,400, right? 1,14,400. This is the liability side capital fund dealing complete, right? Next thing is they have given donation also in the question. So donations will not be coming in the income and expenditure account, right? So donation in the form of prices they have given. How much they have given? 10,000, right? 10,000 over here. Next they have given outstanding salaries that we calculated. So outstanding salary will come on the liability side. How much is the outstanding salary? In the adjustment it was given. So whatever is given in the adjustment will appear twice, right? Whatever is given in the adjustment will appear twice. Once we added in the income and expenditure account, second we are writing it on the liability side. Move on to the asset side. Equipment, how much equipment is given to you? Equipment is given to you for how much? 18,000. 18,000 equipment is given to you. They have purchased also. So plus equipment that is purchased is how much? 22,000. 22,000. That makes up to 40,000, right? They have given 15% on equipment depreciation. So 15%, that is on opening balance. Always remember. See, this is how much you get? 40,000. Less depreciation of 15%. See, 15% will not be calculated on 40,000, but it will be calculated on the opening balance, right? So it will be how much? 2,700. So 2,700. So this will be how much? 40,000 minus 2,700 will be 37,300. This will be your dealing of equipment. Next will be furniture. Furniture, and you will subtract the depreciation. How much? 10% given, right? So what is the furniture that's given to you? 12,000. 10% on 12,000 will be how much? 1,200. So final figure will be how much? 10,800. So this is furniture, right? Next what we have to give? Investments. Okay. Investments. Investments, how much they have given to you? Investments they have given to you as 50,000. Right? Then what more they have asked you? Investments they have said that it is 10,000, there is addition. Addition, how much? 10,000. So total will be how much? 60,000. Right? So this is investments. Next will be the closing. We have given the restaurant stock. That is closing stock of the restaurant. How much is the closing stock for the restaurant? 7,500. 7,500 is the closing stock of the restaurant. Subscription receivable also will come. Subscription outstanding will come that side, and receivable, that is to be received in future, that is pre-receivable income, will come on this side. That is, you will have for 8 and 9, right? Then you will have for 9 and 10. 1500 and how much? 4000. So this will be 5500. 5500 is your total subscription receivable. Prepaid insurance. Prepaid insurance will also come. Prepaid insurance how much? 500. 500 of prepaid insurance. Then you will have cash in hand. Cash in hand is given to you in receipt and payment account, but it will not be put in income and expenditure account. We will write it here or mention it here. How much? 4800. Balance it out. Total it out. How much? 37,300 plus 10,800 plus 60,000 plus 7,500 plus 5,500 plus 500 and then again plus 4,800. This will be 1,26,400. Right? 1,14,400 plus 10,000 plus 2,000. This will also be 1,26,400. So this is liabilities side you have, and then you have the asset side. Make sure you write all the expenses, outstanding and prepaid incomes. You have accrued and outstanding incomes, and you mention them here. All the adjustments will come twice, one in the income and expenditure account and one in the balance sheet, that is either on the assets and the liability side. So this was the balance sheet of the second question. Now we move on to the next numerical. We move on to the fourth numerical, expenditure income account. Subscription they have given to be 43,000. See, subscription 43,000, there is no adjustment. Next, that will be lockers rent, that is given to you as 7,500. 500 they've given of the previous year and 1,000 they have given as the outstanding locker rent, right? So locker rent will be 1,500 outstanding, that will give you 9,000. See, in the question, few books they are given donation are to be capitalized and now amount is given, so whole is capitalized. Other books is 1,500. Please make the corrections, refer to the higher authorities and see what is the correction. Basically it is 3,600 and 3,600, so no amount is given to you, so whole is capitalized with the books that has been provided, right? It could be anyways. If you write anything here, please write a note at the end that all the amount is capitalized. If there is a confusion and the two books says two different things. So this is donations minus capitalized amount. This is the income side that we have dealt in. We come on to the expenditure side. Side, to general expenses, right? How much? 15,000. Then to refreshment. To refreshment, how much refreshment is given to you as? 2,000 is given as a refreshment amount. Interest and loan 1,500. To interest on loan 1,500 is given to you. To depreciation. To depreciation, land and building and furniture, right? This is L&B's for land and building, and you have the furniture. How much they have given? 5% and 10% on land and building and furniture respectively. So it would be 20 to 50. That is, you have 5% on your land and building and you have 10% on your furniture. So 10% on furniture will be how much? 1,500. So 2250 and 1,500 will make up 3,750. This will be the depreciation, land and building and furniture. So you add up 43,000 and 9,000, which will give you how much? 52,000. 52,000 will be coming this side also. 52,000. Right? So my 15,000 and 2, that is 17,000 and 1,518, 1,500 and 3,750. So you will have again the surplus, that is excess of income over the expenditure account. How much is the surplus that you are getting? 29,750 is the surplus that the non-profit organization is receiving, right? So this is the income and expenditure account. Then we will, for the same question, you have the balance sheet that needs to be prepared. You will have the liability side and then you will have the asset side. So liability side and the asset side. We will prepare the balance sheet now. You have the capital fund that is given to you as 50,000. Capital fund is given to you as how much? 50,000. That's given in the question, that is the opening balance sheet. How much is given to you? 50,000. What you do, you add the donation that is to be capitalized. How much donation they are getting capitalized? All the donation. So or whatever the donation capitalized amount is, you will add. So whole donation is capitalized, so all the amount you will write. There is no interest on capital, that is donation only. Plus how much surplus you earned? Surplus is how much? 29,750. 29,750 is the surplus that the company has earned. So total will be how much? 83,350 is the total amount, that is capital fund and donation and surplus, right? Then they have the 10% loan. 10% loan also. How much is the loan? 20,000, right? Then they have paid a loan, that is amount of 10,000. 10,000 they have already paid. Repayment of loan, how much? 10,000. So this is repayment of loan, 10,000. So how much is the actual liability now? 10,000. See in the receipt column, they have given to you in the payment column that they have paid the loan on 1st October 2009. Right? So you have completed up with the liability side. We move on to the asset side. You have land and building. Right? Land and building fees for how much? 45,000. Right? Minus depreciation. Depreciation is how much? 2250. 2250 is the depreciation. 45,000 minus 2250 is 42,750. Right? Then you have the furniture. How much is the furniture? Furniture is 15,000. Right? Then you subtract the depreciation out of it. What is the depreciation amount? 1,500. Right? 15,000 minus 1,500 will be 13,500. Right? Next thing is the investments. Investments is how much? Investment is 25,000. 25,000 is the investment. Next is cash in hand that is given to you in the receipt and payment. Cash in hand is how much? 9,100. Right? Cash in hand is 9,100. Then they have the lockers rent receivable. See, lockers rent receivable. How much is the lockers rent receivable? They have 500 and 1,500. 500 for this year, that is, and 1,500. 500 for the previous year, 1,500 for this year. So how much it comes out to be? 2,000. Right? You have received in advance receivable. Then you have the prepaid general expenses. Prepaid general expenses for which year? 2010 and 11. Right? How much? 1,000. Right? So this is your balance sheet that is made. Just add up and you will get 93,350 as the total. 93,350 as the total of both the sides. If it's not matching, there is something you are missing. Both the sides will be equal, that is liabilities are always equal to the assets. So this is your liability and asset account, and question number 4 is completed. We'll move on to the fifth numerical. We will first solve the fifth numerical. We will do with the income side first. first. Subscription they have given. See, subscription they have given how much? 27,500. They have given the subscription of the previous year and the next year. Both will be subtracted. So subtraction of what? Subscription of previous year. Right? If they don't belong to this year, both will be subtracted. Subscription of the previous year you will subtract 2,000, right? And you will subtract of the last year also. So subscription of next year. How much they have given subscription of the next year? 3,000. Right? So 27,500 minus 2,000 will give you 25,500. You will subtract 3,000 from it. Final figure would be what? 22,500. So this is how you will do the subscription part. Next is entrance fees. By entrance fees. See, entrance fees is how much? 3,000. And they are asking to capitalize the full entrance fees. So capitalize the full entrance fees means 3,000 subtracted by 3,000 will give you 0. And this will go and be added to what? The capital fund. Next is legacies. Right? Legacies, how much they have given to you? They have given legacies as 10,000. And how much is to be capitalized? This is 100% capitalizing. This is how much they have capitalized? 50%. So 50% of 10,000 is how much? 5,000. So you have got legacy of 5,000. This 5,000 you will add to the capital fund there in the balance sheet. After legacy, you will come on to the expenditure side. You have expenditure side. You have rents and taxes. To rent and taxes, there is no adjustment. Directly you will write what? 1,600, right? Next you have printing and stationery. To printing and stationery, how much? 4,400. 4,400. Then you have conveyance. You have the conveyance, how much? 1,500. Right? Then you have the entertainment expenses. To entertainment expenses, how much you have? 5,000. Right? What next you have? Miscellaneous expenses. To miscellaneous expenses, how much? 2,000. Right? Then you have the depreciation, that is on the sports material. To depreciation on the sports material, how much? You have the opening stock plus purchases minus the closing stock. So opening stock, that is the formula, plus purchases minus the closing stock, right? So what is the opening stock given to you? 13,500. 13,500 is the opening stock given to you. What are the purchases? Purchases is 28,000. 13,500 plus 28,000, 41,500, and you will subtract 16,500, that is the closing stock from that. So 16,000 subtraction, what is the final figure? 25,000. 13,500 plus 28,000 minus 16,500 will give you 25,000, right? 9 you have to loss on sale, right? To loss on what? Sale of furniture, right? So add 1600 plus 44, 1500, 5,000, 2,000 and 25,000, right? How much you will get? You will get 40,500, right? Then 40,500. Similarly, 22,000 plus 5,000, 27,500. How much is the difference you have? You have the difference of 13,000. So you will have by deficit, that is excess of expenditure over income. How much you have? 13,000. So you write 13,000 here and 40,500. 40,500. So you will add up both the columns. subtract it, right? And whatever you have, either you will get the surplus or the deficit. This question you are getting the deficit of 13,000. Now we will make the balance sheet of question number 5. See, we will now make balance sheet for the 5th question. We will write buildings, no adjustment is given, nothing will come here. 65,000 amount of building will directly come here. Furniture 12,000 is given to you, of which 6,000 you have sold. So furniture 12,000 minus sales 6,000. So final figure 6,000 will come in this column. Closing stock of sports material we calculated. It is 16,500. So it will come in this column. Cash in hand is given to you in the receipt and payment. So 750 will be written here. Come on to the liability side. Capital fund 97,000, right? Plus capital, you have capitalized the entrance fees 3,000. You have capitalized the legacies, add 5,000 to it. 97,000 plus 3,000 plus 5,000 will give you 1,05,000. You will subtract the deficit that you calculated in the receipt and payment column. So subtract the deficit, that will give you 13,000. 1,05,000 minus 13,000 will give you how much? 92,000, right? So capital fund calculation will be this. 97,000 plus 3,000 plus 5,000, 1,05,000 minus deficit will give you what? 92,000. Then you will add subscription received in advance for the next year, 3,000. So 92,000 plus subscription received in advance 3,000 will 95,000. As I told you earlier also, all the outstanding expenses will come on the liability side, and all the pre-received incomes, that is incomes that has been received in advance, will come onto the liability side. Similarly, all the expenses that we have received, prepaid expenses, will come on this side, and outstanding incomes will come on this side, right? So you now added up 92,000 plus 3,000, you have 95,000. Okay, then you add up this side also. That will also give you what? 95,000. So 65,000 plus 6,000 plus 16,500 plus 750 will give you 95,000, and 92,000 plus 3,000 will give you 95,000. So this is how you will prepare the balance sheet for the 5th question. Now we will move on to the next one. Chapter number 2, question number 7th. We move on to question number 7. Income and expenditure account is expected to prepare, and also the balance sheet. We will first make the income and expenditure account. Let's deal with the income side first. See, for income side first, we will write subscription that is given to us. Now see, there are 250 members and they are paying at 220 each. So total subscription that should be received should be how much? 50,000, right? But in the receipt and payment account, they say that they have received only 47,000 for the particular year. For the particular year means 9-10. Financial year 2009-2010, they have just received 47,000. So rest will be what? Rest will be outstanding for 9 and 10. What will be the outstanding amount? 3,000. Right? 50,000 should be collected, but only 47,000 is collected, so remaining 3,000 is outstanding. Next you have interest on securities. There is no adjustment by interest on securities. There is absolutely no adjustment, so you will write it here finally. Right? What is the next item? Next item is given profit on sale of old furniture. By profit on sale of old furniture, right? Profit on sale of old furniture, how much is given to you? 300, right? 300, right? What next is given to you? Sundry receipts. By sundry receipts, how much sundry receipts is given to you? 650, right? 650 sundry receipts. You will write mark 650 as sundry receipts. Then entrance fees is given to you. Entrance fees is given to you, and the entrance fees is a revenue income. So it will be written on revenue income side. If it is a capitalized income, it will be taken to the balance sheet. So it is a revenue income. right? Income entrance fees is a revenue income. It is written on your income side. This is 4,000. We come on to the expenditure side. Salaries is given to you as 15,400. Okay. Then there is outstanding salary also. Outstanding salary is 3,600. So this will add up to 19,000, right? Next is they have given the telephone expenses 750. To telephone expenses 750. Next they have given as sports material calculation, consumption calculation. See, they have given you the calculation for the stationery, then income on overdraft. There are certain they have given to you. So you are going to make the calculation. First we will see for the stationery what they have given. To stationery consumption, that is, you will have the opening stock, right? You will have the opening stock, that is 2,800, right? Then you will have the purchases. Add purchases. Purchases is of 4,200. Then you will have the closing stock. You have the closing stock. Closing stock of how much? 3,000, right? So that will be total of 4,000. 2,800 plus 4,200 minus 3,000, that will give you 4,000. Interest on bank overdraft. To interest on bank OD or overdraft as you say, 1,100, right? Next is to depreciation on furniture. To depreciation on furniture. See, whenever you take depreciation on any asset, that will always be on opening balance. Sometimes they buy the asset, then they add some asset to it. That additional asset you will not take on the total asset or on the closing balance. You will always take the depreciation on the opening balance. So depreciation on furniture will come out to be 1,200, right? So 1,200 will be this. Now you add up 50,000 plus 1,200 plus 300 plus 650 plus 4,000 minus 19,000, 750, 4,000, 1,100 and 1,200. So you will get a surplus. You are getting a surplus. Surplus means income side is more than the expenditure side, and that comes out to be 30,100. Let's see what is the total. The total is 56,150. The total is 56,150 of the income side, and of the expenditure side it is lesser. So 56,150 minus 19,000 minus 750 minus 4,000 minus 1,100 minus 1,200 will give you 30,100. The surplus is the balancing figure. The total will be 56,150. So this is the income and expenditure account. They have also asked you to prepare the balance sheet. Let's prepare the balance sheet now. Now we will make the balance sheet for the question number 7. We will see the asset sides first. First they have given premises. There is no adjustment for the premises, so directly we will write it on this side, that is in the main column. No adjustments, right? Next they have given furniture. Furniture they have given as 12,000, right? With that they have given the depreciation of 10%. Depreciation of 10%, that is 1,200. So 12,000 minus 1,200 will give you 10,800, right? 10,800. This is the furniture dealing. Next they have given is investment in 8% securities. Next they have given as investment, right? So investment, that is 15,000. Investment that they have given is 15,000. Next what they have given is stock in stationery, that is the closing stock. Stock in stationery. No purchases, nothing will be added, only the closing stock will be taken, that is 3000. Right, the closing stock in stationery has come. Cash in hand. Cash in hand will be taken. Cash in hand is given as 2950. 2950 is recorded. Last is outstanding subscription. Outstanding subscription for what? 2009-10. That is this particular year for what you are making the balance sheet for, and how much that is? 3000. So you have completed the asset side. Move on to the liability side. Liability side, they have already given the capital fund. Capital fund is given to you how much? 76,050. 76,050 is the capital fund given to you in the question. What you will do? You will add the surplus to it. Always remember to add the surplus and subtract the deficit. Surplus, what is the surplus? 30,100 is the surplus that is given to you. So your capital fund, that is total capital fund, will be 1,06,150. Right? This is the total capital fund provided to you. Next will be the outstanding salaries. All the outstanding expenses will be coming on your liability side. So outstanding salary is 3,600. Right? Next, what they have given to you is bank overdraft. See, bank overdraft is 20,000, and they have paid also. Means repayment of bank OD, how much? 20,000. So you remain with nothing, right? So you had a liability of 20,000, you have paid it, so that is 0. Add up the asset side, add up the liability side, you will get 1,09,750. 1,09,750. Here also 1,09,750. So this is assets and liabilities, that is balance sheet for the 7th question. We move on to the next numerical, that is numerical number 8. We move on to the 8th numerical. They've asked you to prepare the income and expenditure account and balance sheet. First we will see the income side, right? Side, right? Subscription. Always start with that by subscription, so you will be free with the main thing. Subscription, for God's sake, there is no adjustment, so directly you will write the amount in the main column, that is 35,000. Then the entrance fees, right? The entrance fees is given to you as 5,000. Right, and they've asked you to capitalize the half of it, so you will be capitalizing how much? 2,500, and the rest will be coming in the income expenditure, and this 2,500 will be transferred to your liabilities and assets, that is your balance sheet. Then you have receipts from the match, right? By receipts from match, how much is the receipts from match? 10,000, right? Then you have the expenses of that, right? So expenses also incurred. So expenses you will be subtracting. What are the expenses? 5,200. So what are the total receipts that you got, right? 10,000 minus 5,200 will give you how much? 4,800, right? So this is receipt from match. Next is donation received. By donation received. So what is the amount of donation that is received? 27,000, right? And they say that 20,000 is capitalized. So 20,000 is capitalized, that will go in the balance sheet. Rest of the 7,000 will be calculated for calculation of surplus or deficit. So 7,000 has come here. We come on to the expenditure side. salary. Salary is given how much? 16,900, right? 16,900 is the salary given to you, and they have given the salary of the previous year also and current year also. So what you will do? Salary, you will be subtracting of the previous year. Previous year salary will be subtracted. Nothing of previous year. See, if anything is prepaid or pre-received or outstanding of this year will be coming. If anything of the previous year or the next year, coming year is there, it will not be recorded in income and expenditure account, right? So 16,900 minus 2,500 will give you how much? 14,400. Right? Then you will note down the outstanding salary of this year or the current year. Outstanding salary of the current year. Current year outstanding salary is how much? 1,600. So 14,400 plus 1,600 will give you how much? 16,000. So this is how you will deal with the salary portion. Then you have the depreciation on the sports material. See, that is known as depreciation. Opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock, that is the depreciation. So you write to depreciation. How you will calculate? Opening stock of sports material. How much sports material is given to you? Sports material is given to you as 7,500, right? Then what you do? Add purchases, right? So when you have the opening stock and you have the purchases, what you do next is closing stock, right? So you have opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock will give you the depreciation. So what are the purchases? 13,500. 13,500 is the purchases. 7,500 plus 13,500 will give you 21,000. 21,000 and closing stock is how much? 5,000. That will give you how much? 16,000. Right? 16,000 will be given to you. Now what is there? You have 16,000 as the depreciation on sports material calculated. Now you have the postage. There is no adjustment. Write it here directly, 300. Then you have the insurance, right? To insurance, you have the prepaid also. So you have to subtract the prepaid insurance. What is the amount of insurance given to you? Insurance given to you is 2,000, right? And what is the prepaid amount? 200. So what is the actual amount recorded? 1,800. 2,000 minus 200 is 1,800, right? What is next thing? Sundry expenses 1,100, no adjustment. Sundry expenses 1,100, no adjustment, so it will directly come in this column. Next is depreciation on land and building. To depreciation on land and building. How much it is given to you? 15,000. 15,000 is the depreciation on land or building that is to be given to. So you will write it as 15,000. Add 16,000 plus 16,000 you have again plus 300 plus 1,800 plus 1,100 plus 15,000. That will give you 50,200. You will add up the expenditure and income column. You will get 50,200 as a total here. Then you add up 35,000 plus 2,500 plus 4,800 plus 7,000. You will get a deficit. That deficit means the expenditure side is more than the income side. So deficit is when expenses are more than the income or expenses exceed the income. That is the deficit. So how much is the deficit or the balance coming out to be? 900. That this is the balancing figure. Now the two side equate, that is 50,200. So the both side equate with 50,200. Deficit is 900. So this is the income and expenditure account of the 8th question. They have also asked you to make the balance sheet also. So we will prepare the balance sheet for the same question. Let's make the balance sheet. We will make the balance sheet for the 8th numerical. We will start off with the asset side first. They have given land and building of 1,50,000, right? Land and building of 1,50,000. Then they have subtracted, you have to subtract the depreciation also of 10%, less depreciation 10%, how much? 15,000, always on the book value or on the opening balance. This will give you 1,35,000. This is the land and building. Then they have given the playground, which has no depreciation, so you will directly write it in the main column. Playground they have given of worth rupees 2 lakhs, so that will come here, right? Playground is 2 lakh. Next is stock of the sports material. We have calculated, that is the closing stock. Stock of sports material, closing stock will come, that is 5,000. 5,000 will be coming. Next is investment. Investment they have given as 80,000. Investment they have given as 80,000, and they have also given the additional purchases in the year. So total investment, that is investment in the beginning and purchases of 30,000, right? So the total investment is 1,10,000, right? So total investments is 1,10,000, that is the initial investment plus the purchases. Then you have the prepaid insurance also. Prepaid insurance, how much is the prepaid insurance? 200, it will come on the asset side. 200, right? Last is cash in hand, 16,500. You have the cash in hand, 16,500. 16,500. No other thing will be coming on the asset side, so asset side is completed. We come on to the liability side. Liability side, you have capital fund given to you. Capital fund is given to you as 4,43,500. 4,43,500, and you have just calculate the deficit, so you will be subtracting that. Let's add the capital entrance fees, that is the capitalized fees. The entrance fees that you capitalized, that will be added here. How much was that for? 2,500. Add that, right? Next is donation. That was capitalized. Donation was capitalized. You will add that. What was the donation amount that was capitalized to be? That was 20,000 capitalized. Add that. So you will have 4,43,000 plus 2,500 plus 20,000, that will give you 4,66,000, right? You will subtract the deficit of 900 that you calculated, so that will give you 4,65,100. 4,65,100. This is the capital fund you have calculated, added up the entrance fees, then the donation that is to be capitalized, both the things were capitalized, then you have subtracted the deficit that you calculated. Next is outstanding salary that you added in the expenditure account. Outstanding is how much? 1,600, right? So you have both the totals now. 1,600, I'm sorry, you will write it here also. So you have both the columns ready. 4,65,100 plus 1,600 will give you 4,66,700. 4,66,700. This is the total of the liabilities side, right? Then you come on to the asset side. It's 1,35,000 plus 2 lakhs. Plus 5,000 plus 1,10,000 plus 200 plus 16,500. This will give you 4,66,700. 4,66,700 is the total of the balance sheet's asset side. So you have all the assets that are written on the asset side, and you all the liabilities and the deficits and the outstanding incomes. So this is how your balance sheet will be prepared. This was the 8th numerical's balance sheet. Now we move on to the 9th numerical and see what it says. We move on to the ninth numerical. Again, they have asked you to prepare income and expenditure account and the balance sheet. Let's see what the income and expenditure account has to say. See, it's a very easy numerical, very small numerical they have given to you. Subscriptions they have given a 16,500, right? And the outstanding, that is total members you have given outstanding subscription, what they have given to you is 2,000. So first we will see the subscription part. Subscription part, as always, by subscription, how much subscription they have given to you? 16,500, right? Plus outstanding subscription of the year, right? How much is that? You're preparing it for 9-10. So outstanding subscription for 9-10 is 2,000, right? So it is 18,500. This is 18,500 given to you. Next is you have, there's no other income. Next is you come on to the expenditure side. Expenditure side. Salary 7,700. There is no adjustment, so you will directly write it in the main column, 7,700. Next is traveling expenses. They've also given the outstanding traveling expenses. So you have traveling expenses as 3,200. To traveling expenses you have 3,200. Then you have outstanding of 300 plus outstanding of 300. That will give you 3,500, right? Next you have the printing and stationery 2,800. To printing and stationery there is no adjustment, so finally it will come on this side only, that is the main column, 2,800. Then you have 150 as the postage. To postage 150. Then you have the depreciation on land and building. To depreciation you have on land and building. How much is on land and building? 4,000, right? Then depreciation on furniture 1,500. Furniture is 1,500. So total is 5,500. So this is 7,700 plus 3,500 plus 2,800 plus 150 plus 5,500. This will give you 19,650. 19,650 is the total of the expenditure column. Then you have the income column. You have only one item there, 18,500 as the subscription. So excess of income over the expenditure over the income is known as deficit. So you are getting a deficit, that is 19,650 minus 18,500, deficit of 1150. Deficit of 1150, 19,650 minus 18,500, that is 1150. So total again will be 19,650. So you had only one item on the income side, and you have 7,700 plus 35 plus 28 plus 150 plus 5,500, 19,650. You had just 18,500. 19,650 minus 18,500 will give you 1150. This is the deficit that you have received. This is the income and expenditure account of question number 9. We will make the balance sheet. They've asked for the balance sheet also. So let's prepare the balance sheet of income and expenditure account, then balance sheet of numerical number 9. We move on to the balance sheet, liability side and the asset side. Let's see what they say. First item that they have to write here is land and building. See, land and building is given how much? 80,000. Write it in this column because you have the depreciation also. Less depreciation. This depreciation you wrote in the expenditure column, it will come here also. How much is the depreciation? Depreciation is 5%. So 5% on 80,000, always take on the opening balance. 5% on this will give you how much? 4,000. So this is 76,000, right? Next is furniture. How much is the furniture given to you? Furniture is given to you as 15,000, right? They have also given the purchases. Purchases means this is the opening balance of furniture. Then purchases means additional purchases during the year. How much? 15,000. So total furniture you have in hand is 30,000, and you have to provide depreciation also. So depreciation at the rate of 10% minus depreciation at the rate of 10%. See, this depreciation at 10% will not be provided on 30,000. It will be provided on 15,000. I've always told you, always provide depreciation on the opening balance, not on any other balances. No, not on closing balance, not an additional balance, but on the opening balance. So 10% on 15,000 will give you how much? 1,500. So 30,000 minus 1,500 will give you 28,500. Okay. So this is dealing of the furniture. Furniture plus purchases minus depreciation. Depreciation on based on the opening balance. Right. Next is outstanding subscription, 2,000. Outstanding subscription for this year is 2,000. You will write in the final because there is no adjustment. You have added already this in the income side. Next is cash in hand, 1,500. Cash in hand is given to you in the question as 1,500. You will write it directly. There is no adjustment. They have given cash at bank also. Cash at bank they have given in the question 6,000. Right? So asset side you have cash at bank 6,000 as the last amount. Move on to the liability side. In the question they have given capital fund. How much is capital fund given to you? 1,07,400. Capital fund that is given to you is 1,07,400. In the question, did you capitalize anything? You didn't capitalize. You capitalized the entrance fees, that is you had 4,500 that you have done. So right, so full capitalization they have said. So you will add the capitalization of entrance fees. Capitalization of entrance fees, how much? 4,500. Right, full capitalization of entrance fees 4,500. Then what you do? Subtract the deficit. Subtract the deficit. How much is the deficit coming out to be? 1,150. You just calculated, right? So 1,07,400 plus 4,500 will give you 1,11,900. This plus this 1,11,900 minus 1,150 will give you 1,10,750. This is how you will get the amount of capital fund. Capital fund plus capitalization of the entrance fees minus the deficit. Then you have the outstanding sundry expenses. You have the outstanding sundry expenses. How much are those? 300. Outstanding sundry expenses, right? Then you have the subscription received in advance. Outstanding, you write here, received in advance will come on the liability side. Subscription received in advance, right? How much is the subscription received in advance? 2,500, right? Outstanding incomes on the asset side, prepaid received incomes on the liability side. Outstanding expenses on the liability side, prepaid incomes on the liability side. So it is just the opposite, right? So 1,10,750 plus 300 plus 2,500 will give you how much? 1,14,000, right? 1,14,000, right? And then you have 76,000 plus 28,500 plus 2,000 plus 1,500 plus 6,000 will give you 1,14,000 again. So it will balance it. 1,14,000. This is how you will make the balance sheet. You have all the amounts. You have the depreciation. Furniture, remember, Furniture plus purchases minus the depreciation. Depreciation always on the opening balance. Outstanding subscription will come here. Pre-received subscription will come on this side. Cash in hand, cash at bank. Then you have the capital fund. You will add up the capitalized entrance fees. Then you will subtract the deficit that you have calculated in the income and expenditure account. Outstanding expenses will come here, and subscription, that is the income received in advance, will come here. The total is coming out to be 1,14,000, right? We move on to the next numerical. This was the 9th numerical balance sheet. We move on to the last numerical, that is question number 10th of this chapter. We move on to the last numerical, question number 10th. See, we have solved probably all the numericals. The basic underlying concern is you should know the logic behind the questions. Rest all the questions are more or less the same. Again, in this question you will have the same items what you had in the previous questions. Again, the same subscription, same method of doing things. So let's move on and finish it off with the 10th numerical of the chapter 2nd. We will solve the income side first. We will move on to the income side. By subscription, it is 37,500, right? Now what you do is you will always subtract the subscriptions or the incomes of the previous year, and you will also subtract of the coming year. Only the subscription that is received in this year will be added, right? So subtract the subscription of the previous year. They have given the subscription of the previous year, you're making for 9 and 10. They have given the subscription of 8 and 9. So please subtract that. When something that is not related to this year, subtract it. So subscription for 8 and 9 is how much? 2,000. Right? Then you also subtract the subscription of the coming year. So subtract the subscription of the coming year, that is, this was 8, 9, this is 2010, 11. That is 9 and 10 will be added. Rest the subscription of the previous year and the coming year that is given in the question will all be subtracted. So this is 1,500. So 7,500 minus 2,000 minus 1,500 will give you how much? 34,000. 34,000. Now they have given the subscription of this year. This year means 9, 10. So add up the subscription of this year, that is 9 and 10. See, this was the subscription of the year 9, 10, which was already received in 8 and 9. No matter you receive the subscription in 8 or 9 or 10 or 11 or any other year. But if it is related to this particular year, you are going to mention it. Subtract all what you are getting for even the last year or the coming year. But whatever is related to this year will be written here. So subscription of this year is how much? This was 34,000. Subscription of 9,000 received in 8 and 9 is how much? 2,500. This was the income or the subscription of 9 and 10 which was received in 8 and 9. But it is related to this year, so it will be mentioned or added to this year. Now outstanding subscription of this year is outstanding subscription. That is outstanding subscription for 9 and 10 is how much given to you in the question? 3,000. Right? 34,000 plus 2,500 will give you 36,500 plus 3,000 will give you 39,500. Right? This 34,000 plus 2,500 plus 3,000 will give you 39,500. So this is how you will deal with the subscription part. Next that is given to you is entrance fees of 5,000. They have given entrance fees of 5,000. There is no adjustment. You write it directly, right? Then they have given you proceeds. See, they have given the proceeds of the drama, and they have also given the expenses of the drama tickets. So first write the proceeds. Proceed means when you are selling the tickets, what you are getting is known as proceeds. Always remember, by proceeds of drama, How much they have given proceeds of drama to be? 22,000. Right? There is some cost also related to it. So when you are getting something, you please subtract the cost. So 7,000 is the cost that is incurred. So 22,000 minus 7,000 will give you 15,000. Okay, so proceeds minus the cost will give you this. Then they have the interest on investment. By interest on investment that they have given to you, they have given it directly 6,000. There is no adjustment. Please write it here, 6,000. They have also given you the sale of the old machine. So interest on investment will come on this side. Then you have the sale of the old newspapers. By sale of old newspaper, right? How much is you are getting by the sale of newspaper? 450. Write it here directly, if there is no adjustment. So sale of old newspaper will also come because that is the part of income to you, right? Come on to the expenditure side. Expenditure side is we come on to the expenditure side. First is the cost of medicines that is incurred. So write to cost of medicines, right? Cost of medicines they have given you directly, there is no adjustment. So 7,000 will appear in this column. Honorarium paid to doctors. To honorarium paid to doctors. Honorarium means the doctors are coming for their services and you are paying them. They are not on permanent basis. They are coming, giving the lectures or maybe conducting an operation. So they have given the honorarium. Honorarium is given out to be 45,000 to the doctors, right? Next is salary. Staff, there is no adjustment. Salary to the staff is given as 16,000, no adjustment. Right? 16,000, no adjustment. Then is you have the stationery of 300 to stationery of 300, right? Last item that they have given you is sundry expenses. To sundry expenses, again there is no adjustment, so in this column itself, right? Now see, 7,000 plus 45,000 plus 16,000 plus 300 plus 1,200 will give you 69,500, right? Total of this column is 69,500. 39,500 plus 5,000 plus 15,000 plus 6,000 plus 450. This gives you total of 7,000, 45,000, 16,000, 300 and 1,200 will give you 69,500. Now add up this column, 39,500 plus 5,000 plus 15,000 plus 6,000 plus 450. Now this is falling short by 3,550, right? So the expenditure side is more, the income side is less. So this 69,500 minus all the totals, so you will get a deficit. Deficit means total of this column minus total of this column. What is the difference? You will write here. That is also known as the balancing figure. So you are getting a balancing figure or a deficit of 3,550. Now when you add everything, you will get 69,500. Right? So 3,550 is the deficit that is coming for the expenditure and account of this question. Remember, again I am telling you, subscription is given to you. Subtract the subscription. See, even if it is received in this year for the last year, subtract it. If it is received this year of the following year, subtract it. Add of this year even if you have received in the previous year. So whatever is pertaining to 9 and 10 or this financial year, please mention it. Rest will all be subtracted. This is the income and expenditure account of the 10th question. They've asked you to make the balance sheet also. Let's make the balance sheet for the 10th question. 10th numerical. We'll make the balance sheet. Buildings, they have given 4 lakhs, so just write it directly because there is no depreciation. They have given investment of 60,000, write 60,000. See, surgical instruments, they have given 25,000. This was the opening balance. You will write the purchases of 11,000. Surgical instruments 25,000 plus purchases 11,000. This plus this, that is 25,000 plus 11,000 will give you 36,000. Outstanding subscription for this year, that is 2009-10, will be 3,000, and subscription received in advance, that is of 9 and 10, again you have 1,500, that will be written on the liabilities side. So outstanding subscription of this year will be written on the asset side 3,000. Cash in hand is 25,450. 4 lakh plus 60,000 plus 36,000 plus 3,000 plus 25,450 will give you 5,24,450. Come on to the liability side. Capital fund given in the question is 3,68,500. See, they have given the life membership fees also, which is to be capitalized in all. Yani full membership will be capitalized, that is of 8,000. Add this membership fees to capital fund, 3,68,500 plus 8,000 minus the deficit. The deficit is that we calculated in the income and expenditure account of 3,550. So 3,68,500 plus 8,000 minus 3,550 will give you 3,72,950. Next is building fund. Any type of fund donations, that will be all coming on the liabilities side. Building fund is 1,20,000. Out of that they have also given the donations of 30,000. So building fund was 1,20,000 plus donation also, that will give you of 30,000 will give you 1,50,000. Next is subscription received in advance. I told you earlier, outstanding subscription will come on the asset side 3,000, and subscription received in advance for this year is 1,500. You will write it on the liability side. 3,72,950 plus 1,50,000 plus 1,500 will give you 5,24,450. This is the balance sheet of the 10th numerical, chapter number 2, accounts of not-for-profit concerns. This is the last numerical of the question. We have solved almost all the numericals, and whichever numericals that we have not solved, 1 or 2 numericals that were left, they are exactly the same to the other or the adjacent numericals that were given in the textbooks. So this is the last numerical. We will switch on to the next chapter of your class 12th textbooks.